Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, I want to begin with a disclaimer. Normally I don't begin with disclaimers, but I think it's important in this case to begin with a disclaimer. And also to explain a little bit about the methodology of this particular class. What I request is that you listen carefully to the entire lecture to its end. Take some notes if you have any questions, and then at the end of that I will answer any questions if you have and try to clarify any issues that you might have. Second thing I want to state very clearly is that this lecture is not in opposition to any particular position that we have. This lecture is not against the stand of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board or of any other ulama body. Alhamdulillah, many of the scholars who are members of the Muslim Personal Law Board are my personal teachers, and there is no question of me saying anything against what they say. So, and in any case, their position is not wrong. So, there is no question of. So, this lecture is not for that purpose. Also, I am not here to give any fatwa about talaq or making anything halal or haram, permitting or prohibiting anything. So, let us keep that in mind as the basic framework of this lecture. Why are we here? Because I think there is a lot of confusion in the minds of people with regard to the correct method of giving talaq in Islam. Seriously, if you ask anyone, and I can bet you this is probably across the board, no matter what level of education or economic well-being, if you just ask an average Muslim in India, or definitely in this city, but also in India, what is the way of giving talaq? He will say talaq, talaq, talaq 3 times, that's it. People have come to believe that this is the only way and this is the right way, and if you want to give talaq, this is how you should do it. Therefore, I think it is very important for us to clarify it and see what is the actual way of giving talaq. So, it's important for us because like marriage, for example, or like salah, or like fasting, there is a method. Islam does not leave this open to our interpretation that each one does it in his own way. No, there is a particular way of doing something. And if you do it in that way, alhamdulillah, this is khair. If you do it in that way, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us for that, and so on. And so also it happens in the case of talaq. So let's understand that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His guidance in the matter. Now, the intention of the Shariah. It's very important to understand, first of all, what is the maqsad of the Shariah in the question of marriage. The intention of the Shariah is very simple. It is, first of all, to make marriage easy and make zina or adultery difficult or impossible. So that's the first intention of the Shariah. Make marriage easy, make zina difficult. Second one is make marriage easy and make divorce difficult. Divorce is not haram. If two people who are married, if they want to separate, yes, this is possible. We do not have the traditional Catholic view of until death do us part. You don't have to die for that. It is something that you can actually separate. But the purpose of the Sharia is to try to save the marriage as far as possible. So, talaq is not meant to be something that just happens, like a shot and you are done and salam alaikum and you're gone home. No. It is something where you say, yes, okay, so you can't live together. We are not going to force you into a relationship which is a living hell or a living torture for you. But at the same time, give it some time, let other people get involved, let elders get involved, let ulama get involved, and try to save this marriage as far as possible, because Islam considers the marriage to be, it is a sacred relationship in any case. The nikah, if it is done according to the sunnah, is ibadah. Islam makes the marriage very, very simple. What is the Islamic system? I'm going to quickly give a thumbnail sketch of that. What is Islamic system? Islamic system is that, first of all, marriage is for the men to decide if they want to get married. Somebody who is economically able to get married, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if you can afford it, get married. So the first criterion is, are you able to afford to get married? If you are able to afford to get married, then what do? You send a proposal to the family of the father of the wali of the girl you want to get married to. If the proposal is accepted, you go and meet the bride face to face. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, look at her, let her look at you, talk face to face. There is no marrying somebody in a box. So meet face to face. Once you decide, then whatever is the meher, you come to that agreement. The man pays the meher, and the nikah happens, it is mustahab and it is the best way to do the nikah in the masjid. But even if it is not in the masjid, the nikah happens, which is simply ijab and qabul. Do you accept? Yes, I accept. Marriage is over. 2 witnesses are required, 1 wakil is required. That is it. Even what we say qazi, which is really the nikah khan in this case, is not a qazi, is not a legal judge, because the word qazi means actually a judge, but the person who is doing the nikah is not a judge. Even that person is not required. We need that in our case because you want to have some kind of documentation of the marriage, so therefore you do that. But for the nikah itself, even that is not required. It's as simple as that. How much money did the wife's family spend for this? Nothing. 0. I am making a point because I am going to tell you why this is a problem. So, wife's family, how much money do they spend in the marriage of the daughter? 0. Absolutely no money, not even 1 cent. What do they get? The girl gets the meher, and if the man is, if he gives some gifts to the parents and so on and so forth, this is up to him. It is not part of the marriage, but if he gives, they get that. Then what happens? Then the girl goes to the husband's house, and the next day or the same day, there is a walima. Who hosts the walima? The boy. The groom. He hosts the walima. How big should it be? There is nothing to say it has to be a massive thing. Basic purpose of the walima is to let the community know that I am now married to this lady. So if somebody sees you with that lady, they don't say, oh, what's happening here? They know what is happening. So therefore there is the walima. So you invite your friends and you invite people. That's it. Who incurs all the expense? The man. The man who is getting married incurs all of the expense for this entire marriage. He is the one who pays the maher. He is the one who hosts the walima. Now, when the person gets divorced, what happens when he gives talaq? Islamic way. When he gives talaq, and I'll come to that in a minute. When he gives talaq, what happens? The girl goes home. Her maher is hers. All the gifts and whatever she would have earned, whatever he gave her, are hers. And when the period of iddat is over, she is free to marry whoever she wants. And this man now is minus a wife, he is high and dry. So now he wants to get married again. What must he do? Same process all over again. Go find another woman, go pay some more maher, go spend some more money for walima, and so on and so on and so on. This is the Islamic method. In the Islamic method, who is the one incurring expenses? The man. Who is the one who is getting a free ride? The woman. This is the Islamic method. Now, what has happened in India? In India, we have turned this on its head. In India, thanks to our importing of customs from all over the place, we have made the marriage a means of expense for the woman and a free ride for the man. Right? So it begins first of all with dowry. Now, dowry in Islam is haram. There's no two ways about this. It is haram to take money from the bride for you to get married. We have dowry, which is a Hindu custom, we've imported it. Then the expense for the bride starts. So start from this dowry, and all kinds of ridiculous and very shameful ways of asking for dowry, directly, indirectly, by implication, and so on. Absolutely, it's like beggars. I mean, it's like dealing with bhigaris. So once that is over, whatever is done, then it starts. The nikah, there has to be a party, a dinner, which is hosted by the wife's side, completely un-Islamic. So now she is first paid money for the dowry, then she has to host a dinner for the nikah. Before that nikah, before they come to that, the women's side, and this is all, may Allah protect our sisters, the women have imposed these customs on themselves. There is sachak, there is mehdi, there is Allah knows how many. I mean, there are 4 or 5 customs. I don't want to go into the details of all that. All of these are expenses incurred by the wife's side. Then they come to the day of nikah, in which there is a dinner party, which is again hosted by them. After that, there used to be something called chauthi, there is something called sangeet, there is something called dholak. Allah knows best how many of these are, 5, 6, 7 days. And then only there is a walima. And even in the walima, may Allah forgive us, there is a pressure from the groom side that the bride's people must pay for something in the walima also. I've heard people saying, they said we will, for the walima, they said let us do 50-50. So you pay half, we pay half. And then they said on the day of the walima, what happened? He said we had 500 guests, they had 3,000 guests. So 50-50. So now you end up paying for 1,000 of their guests. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. So now what has happened is, thanks to all of these customs, the bride side is loaded with expenses. All of them, 100% of them are un-Islamic. So now, okay, long and short of it, so she spent all this money, her parents spent all this money. We know that in our society, people get into serious debt. There is a big problem of indebtedness, of borrowing on interest and so on, to do all of these things. So they have done all that. After that, some misunderstanding or whatnot, the husband said, talaq, 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 and walked away. Now this woman is stuck. She has spent all this money. She goes and sits in her father's house. This man, the next day he gets married to somebody else. So now he collects from that side also. Whereas this girl now is home. And may Allah forgive us, we have also imported another custom, which is that marrying a divorcee is like almost as if it is haram. We do not marry divorcees. So effectively now, the girl got married, she spent all of this money, she got divorced, she comes and sits home, nobody wants to marry her again. So she is in effect now a widow for the rest of her life. Now, question is, who is responsible? Is this a problem of Islam? Is it a problem of the ulama? Or is it a problem of ours? People like us who are ignorant and who import all of this stuff, doesn't belong to us. We take it and then we cry foul and we make a lot of noise and we say the ulama. What part the ulama? Did you consult the ulama when you were doing your sachak and mehndi and this and that, and when you were asking for dowry? Did you consult the ulama? You did. Now when you get into trouble, now you say ulama. What is the alim going to do? So I am submitting to you that this is a problem. The talaq problem is not just talaq, it is both sides. It is the marriage and the talaq. And between the two, the triple talaq is not the issue, it is what we have done with the marriages which is the issue. If the marriage had not been the issue, the triple talaq would not have been an issue. But because we made it like this, it becomes an issue. And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm saying that the triple talaq would not have been an issue if we had followed the Islamic system. To talk about the dowry, you say if you sell the girl, you call it prostitution. When you sell the boy, you call it dowry. It is as nasty as that.